Hello. Welcome back to the 16th annual Medicine Hat Folk Music Club's Tongue on the Post Folk Music Festival. Joining me today is one of our fellow board members, Muriel Eric. You would have seen her earlier this week. I'd like to start by acknowledging that the Medicine Hat Folk Music Club honors and acknowledges that we are situated on Treaty 7 and Treaty 4 territory, traditional lands of the Siksika, Kainai, Piikani, Stoney Nakoda, and Siouan, as well as the Cree, Sioux, and Saulteaux bands of the Ojibwe peoples. We also acknowledge that we are on the Métis Nation within Region 3. Well, what a week so far.
It's been fabulous. Oh, last night, the Mabels. I slept easy after that.
Yeah.
I did. I just slept like a baby when I went home.
It's just so amazing to have a family band come in and be able to perform like that. Well, you have a family of performers too, do you not?
Yeah, I do. I've my brother Randy that plays in the band with me that we currently have, which is the Phoenix Band, which we are together now. It's going on 37 years. And then, but Randy and I were in two other groups before that, and when we went with the Phoenix Band, that's the reason we called it Phoenix, because everybody had come from other groups, and we said, well, we're going to be coming out of the fire and starting a new group, which is what we did. But then we really went family, because I ended up married to our guitar player, Phil. Hi, hon. And then my brother Randy, and then my brother Charlie was on bass. But then when he moved for work with an engineering company to Calgary, we picked up my daughter Rebecca, who was 17, couldn't play in the bars, but she was tall, so nobody knew. Yeah, so it was really family, and now, the whole band is just family as they play. That's how you become. It's like us, Robert. I haven't known you that long, but we're family.
Absolutely. Well, that's the beautiful thing about the club.
You're sick, I'm sick. I hear about your kids being sick, and then I'm like, oh,
Well, that's the nice thing about the Folk Music Club too. And
that's right.
For those in Medicine Hat, the club's doors are always open. We're always welcoming new members. If you love live music and would love to be a part of music festivals and things of that nature, we'd love to have you reach out and come on board. We're always looking to grow. What a special night we have tonight. The lineup just doesn't stop tonight. Richard Inman starting off the evening. I've known Richard for a number of years. What a beautiful treat to hear Richard anytime we get to hear Richard.
Yeah. I'm excited. First timer here. First timer.
We're lucky enough. Ben Sir's taking the second spot tonight, but that's only for tonight. CKUA, our beloved CKUA, announced on Thursday that Ben's sitting at number 1 right now in their top 30. So that's a great accomplishment in Alberta.
Oh, nice.
And
way to go, Ben.
Make sure you stick around till the end of the night. We've got Phyllis Sinclair closing the evening, and Phyllis is a person that's very near and dear to us. We haven't seen her in a number of years. We're looking forward to having her back. She was actually instrumental in starting our singer-songwriter group with the Folk Club.
Oh, Phyllis.
And Phyllis had 3 top 10s last year, with a number 1 sitting for 18 weeks. This is a special treat tonight, guys.
Yeah.
That being said, we've got the fabulous Richard Inman sitting ready to go inside of the historic brick beehive kiln here at Medalta. Let's take it to Richard. See you soon.
It's a song called Thanksgiving Day. I guess I'm just grateful to be here. We only gather here 3 times a year. Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving Day. Grandma, she's getting up in age. I guess I'm just grateful to be here. Grab a plate and take your place in line. You take yours, and brother, I'll take mine. Uncle Leroy brought the bird. stuffing's dry and the gravy's burnt. Grab a plate and take your place in line. Leave your beer outside behind the cars. Grandma don't like liquor, bless her heart. So drink one fast out on the drive. Smoke one quick and we'll head inside. Leave your beer outside behind the cars. Well, I guess I miss it all the same in this motel room up on Pearson, Maine. Never thought I'd miss that sacred hour. Maybe I can make it Christmas Day. I used to wish I lived too far away. So I'll dry my eyes and start to laugh at your Uncle Cyrus when he stole the ham. Maybe I can make it Christmas Day. I guess I'm just grateful to be here. We only gather here 3 times a year. Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving Day. Grandma, she's getting up in age. I guess I'm just grateful to be here. Thanks. This is called Lake Town Blues. Whiskey Jack, I know you're hungry, but I ain't got money for the sea. If I was you, I'd take to fly and leave these lonely Lake Town blues. I ain't cold, and I ain't hungry, and I got money for a while. We could trade wayward places. I'll take wings and you take blues. Morning caught me out of hiding, I ain't got nowhere to go. Never thought that I'd be saying, boys, I'm living on the road. Whiskey Jack, if you got money, I got no one to go my bail. Please don't tell my mom and dad that I'm here drying out in jail. Whiskey Jack, I know you're hungry, but I ain't got money for the sea. If I was you, I'd take to fly and leave these lonely Lake Town blues. Leave these lonely Lake Town blues. Leave these lonely Lake Town blues. Thanks. I'm gonna do one here. This is a song called the Penguin Song. I haven't done it in a little while. care too much. And if I said that I don't care, I'd be lying. You still believe that I'm lying to you. Time seems a bad friend, and hardly a lover. And I'm a poor lover and an even worse friend. So listen to rainfall and wind in the treetops. The call of the highway is waiting on you. And I'm like a penguin, yeah, I was given wings, but I long for the blue sky and not the blue sea. Next year come this time, well, I hope to be living somewhere near nowhere with you missing me. And you can dance with the rainfall, and you can dance with the summer, and you can dance with every man that's here in this place. 'Cause I wait forever, and I wait on summer. Yeah, I wait forever, darling, I wait for you. But I sit on the sidewalk, and I wait on that pusher, and I'll take all he has to offer and go. And I'll drink from the fountain that'll rob us of youth, as I wait on you someday to come home to me. I knew I was never too much to look at, like you with your long looks and your smile like the breeze. And you can wander the cities that you used to dream of, and I wander the foothills that still haunt my dreams. You look like heaven in hell's smoky barroom, and I look like hell with my arms stretched to you. And babe, I still look like hell with my arms stretched to you. Thanks. So, how was everybody's day? I feel better since I got here too. I got a new album coming out next Friday, so that'll be interesting. It's called Come Back Through, and I'll play a couple songs that are going to be on it in a little bit here. I'm just going to get through some oldies for you. This song's called Joplin Blues, and I wrote this in memory of a good friend of mine that passed away in 2019. He taught me how to write songs, even though he didn't write songs himself. And he taught me how to gamble with cards, even though we always lost. Probably not in Texas, but I hope that you are, with your mesh back cap on backwards and some backwood redneck bar, hitting on an old banjo and a borrowed mandolin. Hell, I'd give everything that I ain't got yet just to hear those sounds again. You're betting on a baseball game or taking hold'em way too far. Guess it is what it is till there ain't no more. It was never about the cards. Well, chances are somebody sang this all before. It ain't about the whiskey or the girl at the liquor store. When it's you out on the highway with your pocket full of songs, you gotta take what's left if you can, the rest, and write off all those wrongs. You're probably not in heaven between the Savior and the thief, but you've been rolling sevens with those aces up your sleeve. There ain't nothing like a guitar pull to lose your Joplin blues. I just hope that girl tattooed on your arm is standing next to you. Standing at the crossroads with the devil waiting there. He don't know you'll cheat the dealer, steal it back and call it fair. Chances are somebody sang this all before. It ain't about the whiskey or the girl at the liquor store. When it's you out on the highway with your pocket full of songs, you gotta take what's left if you can, the rest, and write off all those wrongs. Probably not in Texas, but I hope that you are, with your mesh back cap on backwards and some backwood redneck bar, betting on an old banjo and a borrowed mandolin. Hell, I'd give everything that I ain't got yet just to hear those sounds again. Betting on the baseball game, taking hold'em way too far. I guess it is what it is till it ain't no more. It was never about the cards. I guess it is what it is till it ain't no more. It was never about the cards. Thanks. So it's been a couple of years since I've been here. Was that 2017 or maybe 2018? I remember it's a beautiful room when there's like this amount of people in it, but you know, when it's packed wall to wall in here and you're stuck up here with 3 other people, it gets real hot in here real fast. But it is a pleasure to be back, even if we're doing this online. So thanks for tuning in, everybody at home. And oh yeah, this one's going to be on the new album. This is called 100,000 Tears, and I wrote this back in September. I've been living in Raymond since September, so sitting at the breakfast table and looking out, I got the idea for this song. Well, actually I got the idea the night before. I was at the movies. Went to go see the new Clint Eastwood movie, and he said something to the effect of, I used to be a lot of things, and so I took that line and wrote this. Used to be a lot of things, but I ain't too much no more. And this old house is on a tilt. I'm about through settling scores. And I walk past that old corral where I used to ride that mare that bucked me off a dozen times before you had our first that year. And I can hear the laughter of the kids running past the stalls, and I can't bring myself to take your picture off the wall. 'Cause it's 100,000 memories, 1,000 souvenirs, 1,000 days since you've been gone, 100,000 tears. I never read the final chapter, for fear it ended bad. And you can only spend so many years living in the past. So I backed up to the trailer and I dropped the gooseneck down. I checked the cable for the lights before heading into town. Stopped at your sister's restaurant and had a cup to go. I sat in the auction parking lot till that western sunset's glow. And it's 1,000 words unspoken, it's 1,000 souvenirs, it's 1,000 days since you've been gone, 100,000 tears. I never read the final chapter, for fear it ended bad. And you can only spend so many years living in the past. So I sat down in the kitchen, couldn't bring myself to cry. You can only spend so many years asking yourself why. Thanks. That'll be on the new album, out February 4th. It'll probably be exclusively on Bandcamp for a few days because I'm a bit of a slacker and I still haven't uploaded it to all that other stuff. So if you want it on the 4th, you got to go to Bandcamp. There was a link floating around. There it is. I'm on the TV. Hi, Mom. Anyway, I think I'll do another couple old ones here. This one's been good to me. Good money. That's what I do this for. Seriously. Got a call from my brother up in Milner, preaching my damn ear off, telling me how he got saved. But all I think when I hear about Jesus is how you could go tell me he's the one that made you go. Goes along the never-ending highway, but every corner, turn, and distance sign, an echo and a faded memory, you went your way, I went mine, canceled tour. Sometimes wishing I could go to Hill Spring and leave these blues behind. Empty pockets when I ain't on the road. And if you bite the hand that feeds you, you ain't gonna eat no more. There's ghosts along the never-ending highway, every corner turn and distance sign, an echo and a faded memory. You go your way, and I'll go mine. Got a call from my brother up in Miller, preaching my damn ear off, telling me how he got saved. All I think when I hear about Jesus is how you could go tell me he's the one that made you go. Thanks. I don't think I can top that one. I wrote this one with my good friend Marcus Summer. And there was fire on the mountain when the call came down the line. Time to pack, just grab your coat and go. Had the keys been by the door instead of blue jeans on the floor, might have had a chance to haul out a load. And there was halters on the post with nowhere clear to lead. And there was feed catching flame in the night. There was studs and colts and mares assorted in the heat. And I'm crying out to any deity, cut fence and let God sort them out. Let them horses all run free. And good luck, Godspeed, all you fine mounts, better than burning here with me. Well, the eastern slope glows red, hotter than a branding iron, but the devil keeps his own, so they say. And that red mare, she's a demon, so she's bound to do just fine. I got your picture, but I left your ring behind. Now I'm running out of time, so cut fence and let God sort them out. Let them horses all run free. Good luck, Godspeed to all you fine mounts, better than burning here with me. Better than burning here with me. Thanks. I wrote that with my buddy Marcus Summer from Ponoka, Alberta. Speaking of which, I'm going to do a song called Kings on the Corner. It's about a night we played cards. It was me and a couple buddies, Marcus included. And, yeah, it's a song about playing cards. This is also on the new album. Sitting around the Scoves Guard supper table, Kings on the corner, $40 a hand. We're cutting up, telling jokes, going big, going broke, drinking to the horses rode and the ladies that we lost. Drew spurred them down from Texas to Nebraska. Marcus roped and rolled a few in his time. And to tell you boys the truth, I lament a wasted youth. And all the mornings I was laying down as the sun began to rise. I guess I had my share of wrecks along the highway. Been knocked flat on my ass a time or two. Another shot of whiskey helps us through December. And her dark eyes, they flicker in my mind as we deal another hand. And if I walked away right now, I'd keep some money. But I come to love the losing, feeling low and the feeling bad. A couple $100 will come and go like water. And a sure thing ain't a gamble. I guess that's why I love her still. Drew said you'll lose your shirt, your truck, your boots, your buckle. Playing Stukat at a branding when the working day is done. Marcus laughed and kicked his chair back from the table. He said, I thank you boys for everything, but I'm calling it a night. Fighting dirty ain't quite cheap if you're bound to lose that fight. I guess I had my share of wrecks along the highway. Been knocked flat on my ass a time or two. Another shot of whiskey helps us through December. And her dark eyes, they flicker in my mind as we deal the final hand. Thanks. Well, that was fun. How am I doing for time? Cool. Sweet. I'll do another one from the new album. This was the first single. Came out in the beginning of December, I believe. I looked at the chart today. I guess it made it to 27, so that's kind of cool. And, well, that means, you know, in a year I might get some money for it. Said, don't you know, throwing money out's bad luck. So I keep my quarters, nickels in order, and a billfold in my truck. I've been thinking lately, we ain't meant to stay here long. So I keep on calling, won't stop falling till you can't stop singing along. Now I'm digging for change, waiting on the river, just hoping that my liver and my luck hold out. Banking on your dark eyes, dark hair, darling, chasing away my worries and wash away my doubt. Well, I woke up next day to the smell of coffee brewing and the sight of you half in your Sunday best. Well, we ain't been to church in ages, Lord knows I can sing your praises, smiling in that golden meeting dress. Now I'm digging for change, waiting on the river, just hoping that my liver and my luck hold out. Banking on your dark eyes, dark hair, darling, chase away my worries and wash away my doubt. Now I'm digging for change, waiting on the river, just hoping that my liver and my luck hold out. Thinking on your dark eyes, dark hair, darling, chase away my worries and wash away my doubt. Thanks. This is a pretty fancy setup you guys got in here, you know? They'll never believe me back in Grunthal, Manitoba. Tell you what. They're just getting the dial-up down there. Try streaming an auction mart with dial-up, you know. Make some bids on some cows. They're gone 2 weeks ago. Anyway, I don't know if I can, I'm going to do a cover. I like doing songs that my friends wrote, and I'm going to do one that's written by my buddy Marcus. We have a competition going, who can write the saddest song. So far he's winning with this one. This one's about shooting a horse. If you ever get tired living in the city, just know you can always come back home. If your dreams come to die out there in the city, just know that I'm out here on my own. Railway crossing east of the highway seems to be used less more and more. A slow train car dies, I'm moving onward, better, worse, just like before. If I make it to Calgary before the snow flies, would you think about returning your stay? 'Cause the dogs and your necks, they miss you even more than I do. I don't think I can handle the bay. That half-ton you left in, you know isn't insured. I only bought it for hauling hay. And that problem's only half of what you've endured. And And I'm well aware you won't return without a change. And if I make it to Calgary before the springtime, would you think about returning your state? Because the dogs and your necks, they miss you even more than I do. And I don't think I can handle the bait. When I look at him, I see your face. And if you're gone too long, I'll have to put down the bait. Thanks. Marcus Summer wrote that one. Speaking of co-writes, this is, as if we were doing that. I wrote this with my good friend Zachary Lucky. And I think he was here a couple months ago. Hope you're well out there, Zach. This one's called Raining in December. We wrote it over the internet. I was in Grunthal, so it took a while. It's raining in December. You're a long way from home. Not too sure where that is, 'cause you've been gone so long. Your mind takes to racing, all the things you should have done, but you can't go back. You're too far gone, you're too far gone. You're too far gone. Rain on her window, was keeping 3/4 time. As you stood in the doorway, did your best not to cry. You know she ain't sleeping, but you still gotta go. Even though she's the closest that you had to a home in a long old time. Time. Scary kind of feeling when you both drift apart, like two ships at sea, lost out in the dark. And you could run aground or drift back out to sea. It's gonna take you a long time get where you need to be, a long old time. A long old time. Call up your brother if you still had a dime, or your pockets were empty and your lung worked just fine. Say so long to the flatlands that you once called your home. Say farewell to the foothills where you used to roam. 'Cause you won't be back for a long old time. You won't be back for a long old time. You won't be back for a long old time, a long old time. Thanks. Right on. Well, you might be the devil, Where does that leave me? Wanderlust-filled prophet, hell-bent on New Orleans, and I could save my soul a cinder for to leave these blues behind. Gamble my last dollar and dry out in the rain. And I'll haunt 100 highways trying to leave your smile behind. Take a dozen months or more just to untangle in my mind. Rolling like a river, I'm here and then I'm gone, and you're still stuck inside my head with all that I've done wrong. And there ain't nothing like the middle of the story. Riding high on the beginning, not too low before the end. And it ain't about the money or the glory. And I guess holding you is worth more than it costs this heart to mend. And I guess holding you was worth more than it costs this heart to mend. Now if dreams were truly horses waiting on the final ride, yeah, it wouldn't take me longer than a second to decide. I love you like a yesterday you'll never see again, and I'll carry your smile with me every day until the end. And there ain't nothing like the middle of the story. Riding high on the beginning, not too low before the end. And it ain't about the money or the glory. And I guess holding you is worth more than it costs this heart to mend. And I guess holding you is worth more than it costs this heart to mend. You might be the devil, but where does that leave me? A wanderlust-filled prophet, hell-bent on New Orleans. And I could save my soul a cinder for to reignite the flame, and gamble my last dollar and dry out in the rain. Ken? I always get a kick out of these live things. Reminds me of Wayne's World. It's great. Hey, that's a compliment. Let's try the Scooby-Doo ending. All right, well, I'm going to do 2 covers at the end of the night here. Maybe I'll just do 1 cover. I'll do one more of mine. Let's see here. The problem with writing a bunch of songs is that you got to remember them. Yeah. Oh, here's one. Billy made his living ripping tickets at the movies, saving all his money, his courage up for Julie. Julie worked the canteen, selling popping ice cream, waiting on the truest form of love. Yeah, minutes turn to hours, turn the weeks back into days, tearing tickets, studying the smile upon her face, listening to the other ticket terrors toss jokes about the truest form of love. She wonders what he's keeping in his head there while he's sweeping, wishing she was dancing somewhere out there on the breeze. So he polishes his name tag, buys a pair of cool shades, walks on over sheepishly and doesn't say a word. Ain't it true about the truest form of love? Sometimes it don't, sometimes it does. If the way we were was the way we was, yeah, we might get to be in the truest form of love. Well, Billy quit the movies 'cause he couldn't talk to Julie. Got himself a new job selling used DVDs. Julie went to school on a scholarship program, gonna make her future with her brand new PhD. Billy dates a gal that he met back in high school. They ain't got much in common, but they still get along. Billy and Julie still thinking about each other, 1,000 miles apart, singing Tom T. Hall. Well, he still dreams at night of faster horses, older whiskey, younger women ripping tickets, heaven up above. And she still dreams at night of popcorn in her sneakers, never-ending smell of butter, and half-off DVDs. Well, ain't it true about the truest form of love? Sometimes it don't, sometimes it does. If the way we were was the way we was, yeah, we might get to be in the truest form of love. Well, Billy made his living ripping tickets at the movies, saving all his money, his courage up for Julie. Julie worked the canteen, selling pop and ice cream. Oodalolly, oodalolly, golly, what a day. Thanks. I'm going to finish this off with a cover of Fred Eaglesmith's song, if I can remember the words. I haven't done this one in years, but it seemed fitting. Yeah, I didn't wear this hat on accident today. Darling, I'm coming down, right number 67. Just turned off the turnpike, avoiding the Ohio State inspection. Johnny Law followed me up the road. He turned off, let me go. Guess this old truck ain't worth shutting down. And your voice last night on the telephone said you wouldn't be there when I got home. And the light keeps coming on, and I got water in the fuel, my brakes are gone. I got a left front tire throwing thread. By tomorrow morning I could be dead. Baby, maybe you've been right all along. Well, you said you'd never stay with a man who was always gone away. All you wanted to do was settle down. You wanted to buy that little trailer out on the edge with the money you saved. It had a carport, a color TV, no place to turn around. The light keeps coming on, and I got water in the fuel, my brakes are gone. I got a left front tire throwing thread, and by tomorrow morning I could be dead. Baby, maybe Baby, maybe you've been right all along. Well, remember that winter when the lake froze over? We drove up there after we unloaded. We revved that truck and we spun it round and round. Then we left it idle out on that ice, crawled in the sleeper and I held you tight. Baby, I'm sure on some thin ice now. Here we are. Well, the light keeps coming on, and I got water in the fuel. My brakes are gone. I got a left front tire throwing thread, and by tomorrow I could be dead. Baby, maybe you've been right all along. Thanks. My name's Richard Inman. You guys take care. God bless. Be good to one another. Am I good? Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Inman, how was that? You know, we got to say thank you for tuning in tonight and all week. Keep the comments coming. We've, you know, the artists are able to see the comments. There is a screen set up in front of them, so they are able to see, you know, all your love-felt messages coming across the screen. It definitely helps them connect. You know, this has been a pretty special week, and we're pretty happy to have all of these artists here. It's not every day that I get to find somebody that I look eye to eye with. Richard Inman. How was that, mister? Are you on? You're not on. You're on.
Cool. Well, we played a pretty good first half, you know. We were moving the puck along nicely. I don't even know what I'm talking about here.
I don't watch Frisbee.
This is weird.
It's weird holding the mic.
I feel like Will Ferrell. It's like, what do I do with my hands? You know?
Well, I've definitely learned over the course of the week that I have to speak into the mic. So
Oh, yeah.
I've been told numerous times.
Usually it just stays where it's supposed to.
Right? Usually it's in a holder for you.
Yeah.
Do you need me to bring one of the guys over and hold it for you?
We should get a stand.
Should get a stand.
A podium.
A podium. So, new album.
New album,
Dropping next Friday, you said.
Yeah.
Woo.
Oh, yeah.
And where are people going to be able to find that?
Bandcamp, and then it'll be on the streaming services probably within the week.
Okay. Okay.
But closer.
See? I told you. They've been yelling at me all week, man.
Again. Yeah, this is crazy.
So what was the inspiration behind this new album then?
It's pretty much just going back home, going back to your roots. It's called Come Back Through, and the song is about a conversation I had with a buddy when I first started getting royalty checks and rebuilding my life.
Yeah.
So it's been a long process and a long way to go, but I'm glad I get these songs out there now.
And we're thankful you get these songs out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Viewers at home don't always get to realize how long, you know, it takes and how much effort it actually takes for you guys. You know, not just the writing process either. You know, the process of building this thing, you know, top to bottom and being able to get it out there is not an easy process for you guys.
No, it was really, like, I tried to record this 3 times, this album, and finally the 3rd time I just borrowed a bunch of gear and did it myself.
Yeah.
My friend Mike had just borrowed me a bunch of gear, and me and my guitar player locked ourselves in the house for 4 days and got it done.
I think I might have remembered talking to you around that time.
Yeah, I played drums on it. The band quit the day before.
You know, in all the years I've seen you play, I don't know if I've ever seen or heard you play drums.
Yeah, I used to do that. In high school, I played in a Christian metal band. Played drums.
See, now we're all learning something
Oh,
new.
yeah. There you go, folks.
Richard Inman, the Christian metal band.
Oh, yeah. That was my high school rebellion. Go get some double cheeseburgers after the gig.
I want to find some of these albums now.
They're gone.
Oh.
They're gone, but unless you got a MySpace account. I bet you could find it on MySpace if you looked hard
I
enough.
don't even know if you can find MySpace.
I don't think it's there anymore. Yeah.
So you've made the long trip. You've been residing in Alberta now for
Since end of May, yeah.
yeah. Alberta's treating you well.
Yeah, except for, a couple things, but I'm working through it. This is home, though, so.
If any ranchers in southern Alberta are looking for a good hand,
I'm looking at I drive a feed truck. If anybody needs that, I'll drive a feed truck. I'll drive all day long.
Richard does definitely put on some miles. I've known him to make many a trip back and forth out to Winnipeg.
Yeah, it's a long go.
Yeah.
Every time it's like, I wish I could just sleep through it all, but podcasts are good.
Well,
Podcasts work.
it's definitely longer in these times when you're not able to pick up a gig or 5 along the way to kind of break that trip up.
Yeah, some people still.
Yeah.
Some people are still okay with it, so. But, that's Saskatchewan for you.
Yeah. Well, it's nice that some of the smaller venues are still able to put on shows and events.
Well, I've been pretty fortunate. There's been, I've been fortunate in that regard. But yeah.
Any final words about the experience being in the kiln, being back at Tongue on the Post?
It's a lot nicer in there when there's that many people in there. It was so hot last time.
Yeah. Well, we turned the furnace off for you too to make sure.
That was my memory of being last time. I'm wearing all these layers today. I was like, oh no. I walked in there. I was like, what have I done?
For you viewers at home that have never been to a kiln show, we have the cameras in there now and production crew. But in a normal year, when we are able to gather, there's generally somewhere between 60 and 90 people in that kiln taking in these performances on a normal festival year. Well, Richard, thank you very much for making the trip. We had a lot of great comments. Everybody's always loving your music. We look forward to the new album dropping next week.
Yeah.
And I think we've got Ben Sears ready to go with the band in the kiln. We'll go back to Ben.
Cheers.
Thank you. So that's what it looks like from the top of my head. In case it's the end of the world, I'm gonna have a cinnamon bun. In case it's all over, I'm gonna have some fun. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm willing to give it a try. In case it's the end of everything and the end is nigh. In case it's the end of the world. In case it's the end of the world. I get infected, I'm stocking up on food. I'm gonna try some different things that'll lift my mood. I'll eat food I normally wouldn't. No more eggs and bacon. I wonder what my sister stuck overseas will be making. In case it's the end of the world. In case it's the end of the world. Allowed to touch. I'm gonna find a crash test dummy to hang out with and such. I'll feel less morose with my surrogate friend, learning all the latest dance moves. Dance me to the end. In case it's the end of the world. In case it's the end of the world. Say what I think, and once I spill the beans I might need a drink. 'Cause if it's not the end of the world, things get back on try. I'll upset some stuff, never taking back in case it's the end of the world. In case it's the end of the world. Thank you, Medicine Hat. Thank you. Nice to be here. Nice to have a little bit of an audience in this kiln. We're in a kiln, right? Is that right? I grew up in a lot of kilns. My dad was a potter. And I spent much of my teenage and young adult life loading and unloading kilns. But never with music in them. Mostly pots. This song is called Before We Had Sarah. I was having coffee with a friend of mine one day, and we were laughing about how he and his wife felt like they hadn't seen each other in 20 years because they were so busy with their children. And so I wrote this song, and the chorus went, before we had Sarah, Veronica, and Mary. And I played it for him, and he was like, oh, Ben, that's great. Except there's also an Estelle. So I wrote this. I rewrote it after that. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's nice to see you again. It's been a long, long while. What was our last conversation? I sort of remember your smile. We really should catch up. There's so much that I miss. There are years of things I've been meaning to ask. Been making a mental list from before we had Sarah, Veronica, Estelle, and Mary. I was yours and you were mine. I was yours and we had time. Before we had Sarah, Veronica, Estelle, and Mary. School days and outfits to choose, work and lunches to make, permission slips for field trips. We went to church if we caught a break. Then Mary had cello and Grandma got sick, so we put a bed in the living room. Oh, Sarah left for school in Montreal, and Estelle followed her pretty soon. From before we had Sarah, Veronica, Estelle, and Mary. I was yours and you were mine. I was yours and we had time. Before we had Sarah, Veronica, Estelle, and Mary. What was our last conversation? What was the last thing we did? Oh, lie in a field sharing hopes and dreams about someday having kids. Now Mary won't give us the time of day. Grandma finally passed away. We've run out of things to say. Sarah has a baby on the way. Before we had Sarah, Veronica, Estelle, and Thank you. That was called Before We Had Sarah. I've got Chris Brzezicki here playing the bass for you. Everybody at home and here. At home, like they live with me. And the Medicine Hat Folk Club is kindly, in addition to having this wonderful crew of sound and camera people, they also have a person interpreting the emojis you leave under the comments. So at the back, you can't see this at home, but there's a person jumping up and down, you know, when you get a thumbs up or a...
An emoji translator?
And they have another person to damp their forehead with a towel. This next song is called Boring People. This song was loosely, maybe not inspired, but triggered by a conversation I had. I was walking down my street in Edmonton on a very, very hot day. And do you guys know what a Hummer is? It's kind of like a Jeep tank truck. Do you know what I mean? Have you seen that before? A Hummer? Yeah? Anyway, his Hummer was running, and he was standing on the boulevard smoking a cigarette, talking to two young women. And as I walked past, I said, hey, does your car need to run? And he was like, no, but you do. So anyways, I think that triggered this song. It's okay, you guys can laugh in the audience here. Just let it out. Okay, here we go. This is who I am, the body breaking, the troubled heart, the can't get finished, they can't go on, they can't start. Not the best moves or the brightest, or the dumbest either. Not satisfied with satisfied, not into bliss and ether. Who are you? Who am I? Is there a difference when we try? Is there really a payoff? Are there just more things to fix? Are we just boring people that do boring things for kicks? Who are you? Who am I? Who I was, the blind ambition, the vocal cracks with no eyes to my peers, deaf to all obvious facts. Not the best moves or the brightest, but when you're young, you're dumb. How else can you make mistakes? I could have listened to my mom. Who are you? Who are we? Is there a difference when we flee? Is there really a payoff? Are there just more things to fix? Are we just boring people that do boring things for kicks? Who am I now? Who are we? She doesn't know, doesn't care, or that's what she gives off. The people that act the hardest are very, very soft. To make the great reveal, to show the truest part, would be to admit to being human and that you have a heart. So it's riding in the truck and blaring the horn. It's F-bombs, hockey, and porn. It's the top of your lungs, singing Riders in the Storm. Who am I now? Who was I then? Is there a difference in the end? Is there really a payoff? Are there just more things to fix? Are we just boring people that do boring things for kicks? Who Who am I now? Who was I then? Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Clapping at home. Clapping here. I still haven't quite mastered the semi-audience, semi-at-home dialogue. Okay, next song. This is Stephanie Suki singing for you beautifully. We've been singing together a long time.
Yeah.
Does it feel that way?
No, yeah, no. I plead the fifth.
I just want to say it's great to be here in a kiln because, as I mentioned, my dad was a potter, and so I grew up around kilns and ceramic artists and ceramics and damp rooms and dust. And so anyway, my dad died in 2018, and I wrote this song for him. This is called Father's Shoes. I inherited his neon green and blue baseball shoes. He liked bright things, and the green is super bright on these shoes. And I painted them in my little painting studio. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shauna says I'm grumpy since my father passed. Going on 2 years, I have not shown a lot of class. A hero in a heartbreak, he never stood still. He left neon green and blue shoes no one could fill. He liked spy novels, Chinese food. His hands turned to clay, he had a tough love kind of brood. He was careful with his words, spoke sparing if at all. Only what you needed to hear so you wouldn't fall. Maybe I will paint in my father's shoes. Does not need them now, and I could find some good use or a funny combination of neon green and blues. Maybe I will paint in my father's shoes. I don't know when he wore them, maybe on his walk. Every night, little moonshine up and down the block. He fed her pretty well, leftovers gourmet fight. He was pretty sad when that little shih tzu died. I'd follow him around the grocery like all the times before, feeling like a kid, a little embarrassed in the store. He'd ask anything you want, I was too shy to say. For 50 years it was that way. Maybe I will paint in my father's shoes. He does not need them now, and I could find some good use. They're a funny combination of neon green and blues. Maybe I will paint in my father's shoes. By the house to see what was left. His wife said, take the shoes out on the deck. Oh, they'll just get donated. They're practically new. It's what your father would want, and they fit you. Maybe I will paint in my father's shoes. Does not need them now, and I could find some good use. Funny combination of neon green and blues. Maybe I will paint in my father's. Maybe I will paint in my father's. Maybe I will paint in my father's shoes. Thank you. This is Shannon Johnson playing the violin for you and singing beautifully.
Lawrence.
Ah, you're welcome. I'm on a quest to write the greatest love song of all time. Do you guys in the room like to hear one of my contenders? A little more enthusiasm, please. No, please, no. I've also always wanted to sing in the Spanish language. I don't speak Spanish. This is more like if the Spanish language was Medicine Hat, I would be standing in Wetaskiwin. I did a concert in Beirut, Lebanon about 15 years ago, and I made the same joke with different geographic references, and they didn't laugh either. Te quiero, mi bonita. Te quiero, senorita. Te quiero like cream cheese loves a bagel. And if you say you'll be my wife, I swear with all my life, I'll take all them little pills that keep me stable. Thank you. I find that really kind of, separates the wheat from the chaff in an audience. All right. Where are they now? A little bit more guitar, please. The good thing about streaming is so when you do a live show, sometimes you have hecklers, but this way you can't hear the hecklers. Yeah. They can just put all the rude comments they want, and it doesn't affect you till after, when you read through them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody has one, pops in their head. We wonder, where are they now? Are they living or dead? Living or it might be you they think about. Maybe you're the one that got away, the one that makes them sigh or pout. Or where are they now? Are they overseas? Or where are they now? Other side of the rainbow, where are they now? Do they think of me where they are now? There was a French girl, her eyes were clear. She was on an exchange, we exchanged for a year. Where are they now? Are they overseas? Or where are they now? Other side of the rainbow, where are they now? Do they think of me where they are now? Other side of the rainbow, where are they now? Do they think of me where they are now? Where they are now? Thank you. Can you give me just a little bit more body? Thanks. Stephanie, I understand your aunt lives in Medicine Hat.
Yes, hi, Auntie Betty Ann.
I was just going to say, do you want to say hi to her?
I just took the reins.
Excellent. Anybody else want to say hi to? Oh, Chris's partner Michelle's birthday is today.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Michelle.
Yay.
I just imagined her blushing. I've never been acknowledged on the internet during a stream. I haven't prepared these remarks, by the way, if anyone's wondering. I didn't script out my...
That was a mystery to
In case that wasn't clear. This next song is called Cry Like a Flood, and it's about a friend of mine in Toronto who's a singer-songwriter named Kat Goldman. She's a beautiful singer and songwriter, and she was kind of on her way to the show as we do you say that in the business? On the way to the show?
If you're going to a show, yeah.
Anyway, she was destined, she was on her way to, she had signed with a big management company, and but then a certain turn of events in her life changed the direction of her career. So anyway, I wrote this for her. Only on the internet.
Of course.
Are there comments in the comment section? Wrong key.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we edit this later, or? I know that people will have seen the mistakes, but for the second version, can this go in the blooper reel? Do you guys have a Medicine Hat blooper reel?
The outtakes. Yeah, there you go.
Here.
Outtakes.
1, 2, 3. Corner of her room, singing her song. Smile lines in her eyes from days gone. Meds on the coffee table, a wink and a sigh. If you could hear her sing, it would make you cry. And it's cry, cry, like a flood. Tears for all the years, flowing like blood. We are born and then we break and go back to the mud. Cry, cry, like a flood. She was headed to New York, a contract in her hand. The ticket was booked, but then fate or something dealt its hand. A Toronto bagel shop, a lunch for old times. She was studying the menu, trying to make up her mind. And it's cry, cry, like a flood. Tears for all the years, flowing like blood. We are born and then we break and go back to the mud. A car came through the window, no warning at all, pinned her to the wall. She did not make it to New York, other things had to be done. Learning how to walk before she could run. Well, she's lucky to be alive. It's not luck that she can sing. Her heart gave her that power more than anything. Through apartment walls, neighbors hear her song. Smile lines in her eyes from days long gone. Cry, cry, like a flood. Tears for all the years, flowing like Thank you. Thank you. You know what I've noticed, Stephanie?
What's happening?
Because we haven't done a lot of concerts recently,
Yeah.
like in 2 years, but the last 2 days we've been doing shows.
Yeah.
I keep having to push my glasses up.
Oh.
It only happens on stage.
Oh.
And I think I must have written most of my songs in hot environments because it seems to be timed like there's always a perfect space in each song at which to push my glasses up. Did I introduce everybody? Hey, big thanks to the Medicine Hat Folk Club and Tongue on the Post Festival. This is called 40 Days. We're playing a lot of songs from my new album, which I'm happy to report is #1 on CKUA this week. You can clap for that too.
She's a pro. We should take her everywhere.
Anyway, this is called 40 Days. 1, 2, 3. 40 days sober, 40 not hungover, 40 days of wondering, how am I gonna live through this? 40 days of thinking, without drinking, 40 days of the shakes, the absolute terror and the bliss. Oh, 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 oh. 40 days awake, like stories breaking. 40 days of getting up to find out who you really are. 40 days of sweatpants without a romance. And wondering who the hell you're gonna love now that you don't go to the bar. 40 days older, 40 days bolder. You're lacing up the boots for the path to who you're gonna be. Asking, could anyone ever really love me? Oh, 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 oh. 40 days of leaving and lots of grieving. You can round up the money or a job to make it on your own. And 40 days of sadness and fits of madness and changing in all kinds of ways you might have never known. 40 days of shedding, lifeblood letting, only it's a change. Decisions they might not understand. You might have to leave that man. Oh, 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 oh. Thank you. That was called 40 Days. All right. We're playing, a lot of the songs we're playing are from my new album, and the album is called The Story That Lived Here. But now we're going to play an older song. This is called Any Precious Girl. This song won the John Lennon Songwriting Contest folk category in 2005. Thank you. I remember when I got the email, it said the email subject was congratulations, so I thought it was spam. But no, I won. Won a bunch of stuff. Anyway, the song is called Any Precious Girl, and it's dedicated to anyone that ever felt like getting naked and running outside. And that joke goes over better when there's an audience and in the winter. I played this song for a lady one time, just on the headphones, and when she was done listening, she took the headphones off and she said, "That song is perfect for my band. We play a clothing optional festival every summer." 2, 3, 4. Sister went running into the street bare naked. Paramedics came and they took her away. She was just being created. The ambulance arrived for a crazy woman dancing in the street with no clothes. All they took away was my baby sister, the clown without her nose. Every day is a full moon. Every day is a full moon. Every day is a void and a padded cell for any precious girl born without a shell. And my father flew in to help with the refit, the cleaning her apartment. There was paint everywhere in their clothes and in their hair. I think they had a good time. And all of his kids were exactly the same. We live in the extremes. We have crazy love affairs, do weird things to our hair. We walk around in dreams. Every day is a full moon. Every day is a full moon. Every day is a void and a padded cell for any precious girl born without a shell. When you don't fit in to the world, you know you may do with what you can. You read poems in the street, go shopping in bare feet, make castles in the sand. And my baby sister is happy now, the same as before. She remembers to each a little more discreet, stick to naked dancing indoors. And every day is a full moon. Every day is a full moon. Every day is a void and a padded cell for any precious girl born without a shell. Thank you. Thanks. Whew. It's good. This is really nice. Except as a courtesy, they've given us a video screen on which to see what we are doing when we're playing, and it's just about a half a second behind. So I'm like, man, Shannon is so behind the beat, but it sounds so perfect. All right. Well, when I can't think of anything to say, I say, how's everybody doing? Please enter your comments below.
Yeah.
All right. This next song is called Maybe. This is another older song of mine. Do you think your aunt's still enjoying the show?
I believe she probably is, yeah.
Does she use the internet a lot, or
I don't know. I haven't seen her in a while.
Stephanie?
I know.
Bad
Medicine
niece.
Hat, it just, I don't get here unless I'm gigging.
You like to stay in the colder places.
Yeah, I know. We should be down here all the time. There's no snow.
I know. I'm vacationing here from
Yeah,
now on.
that's right. Yeah.
turn this down just the littlest bit. Maybe the prettiest girl will give you the eye. Maybe you'll end up caressing the skin on her thigh. Maybe you will, maybe you will, maybe you will, maybe you will. And maybe you'll have everything that you ever dreamed. Maybe you'll even come up with the perfect scheme. Maybe you will, maybe you will, maybe you will, maybe you will. The clouds might even part for you. Children may even gather leaves. We'll all sing and dance with ease. Love will come and be true. Maybe you'll fall off a ladder and hit your head. Maybe the blow will leave you entirely dead. Maybe it will, maybe it will, maybe it will, maybe it will. But a maybe is only a maybe, there's no guarantee. No guarantee what maybe will turn out to be. Your maybes will all come true. Some of them do, some of them do, some of them do, some of them do. I'm going to the fair, that's for sure. And I'll ride on every ride I can see. And I'll eat till I have my fill. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Thank you. That was called Maybe. I mentioned my new album, The Story That Lived Here. If you do want to get yourself a copy, it instead of coming with a compact disc, it comes with a super nice album jacket and a T-shirt. I know, right? Everybody wears T-shirts.
And
Do they?
and a download. So you can
Yeah,
get
the download. Yeah, there's a
There's
download
that.
too. Right, the music is part of it as well. Anyway, this is the song. The album's called The Story That Lived Here, and this is the song, The Story That Lived Here. 2, 3. In the last hours of the final days, fleeting moments before slipping away, frustration from over the years, unfinished conversations, maybe tears. They lie there, hospital bed, hooked up to tubes, being fed, unable to speak, unable to think, dreaming of golfing and having a dream. Everybody has an ending, one day you'll join. The saints and sinners will all be coming and going. The final hour won't matter near as much as the story that lived here. You have no words, so much to say, all this pressure before they pass away, all these questions swirling like a dancer, never happily ever answer. It's harder for you than for them. You have to live with this after their story ends. They won't be hurting or not getting along. They won't be grieving, they'll be gone. Everybody has an ending, one day you'll join. Saints and sinners will all be coming and going. The final hour won't matter near as much as the story that lived here. As much as the story that lived here. All right, okay. Thank you very much. We're going to play two more songs. I don't know, the nice thing about being at home listening and not being in a room with other people is you can sing along and not worry about
being judged.
Not worry about, what is it, singing moistly? This is called In a Perfect World. And if you want to sing along, I sing In a Perfect World, and then you sing In a Perfect World, and then I sing In a Perfect World, and you sing.
Good job.
Excellent.
Go team.
Yeah, that's right.
Here we go. In a perfect world,
in a perfect world,
I would be 5'9". In a perfect world,
in a perfect world,
I'd be great every time. In a perfect world,
in a perfect world,
you wouldn't have to floss. In a perfect world,
in a perfect world,
you could shoot your boss. In a perfect world,
in a perfect world,
I would know what to say. In a perfect world,
in a perfect world,
and a girl looked at me that way, hey, snap your fingers.
in a perfect world,
bears would be gummy in a perfect world.
in a perfect world,
My jokes would be funny in a perfect world.
in a perfect
I'd written a song. In a perfect world,
In a perfect
I wouldn't
world.
have a big nose. In a perfect world,
In a perfect world.
I'd be too sexy for my clothes. This world is not perfect, Anna, and neither am I. Pass me another slice of that humble pie. This world is not perfect, Anna, neither are you, but at least there are lots of things to do. Thank you. We're going to play one more song. This is Shannon Johnson playing the violin and singing for you. Stephanie Suki singing and playing for you. Chris Brzezicki playing the bass.
It is
And bringing birthday presents home.
maybe.
We'll stop in Okotoks and get a cake. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone at home listening and everyone here. Thanks to the crew, volunteers, the Medicine Hat Folk Club, Tongue on the Post Festival. It's really nice to be here, especially being in a kiln because I grew up being in kilns. This is called No One Will Remember You. Learn all the songs from all the bands, every tavern crowded your command. They got drunk and about a round or two. No one will remember you. That amazing voice, that stirring soul, singing covers by the Eagles and Hole. Got you lucky when they were new. No one will remember you. No one will remember all the things you said. No one will remember all the words in your head or anything you tried to do. No one will remember you. Except maybe your mom and dad. They'll recall the time you had and wonder what they didn't do. No one. You became the toughest, most cocky drunk, pandering to patrons like a punk. Oh, punches pulled, punches through. No one. No one will remember all the things you said. No one will remember all the words in your head. Anything you tried to do. No one. Small town hero, king of the hill, queen of the bar and the whiskey still. The regulars still drink that brew. No one. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Oh, some go boom, some go bust. Some jump the cracks and some fall through. Deep down you always knew. No one will remember. No one will remember. you. Thanks for listening at home. Thank you, everybody. Woo. Thanks. Thank you. See, I don't even have to duck. Huh. I just want to say you looked really short compared to
Dick?
Richard. Richard.
And then you had to throw the not hitting your head coming out of the kiln.
You know, you get excited about these things, and just these magic words just come to you.
The amount of times I've come in and out of that kiln, I'm happy that I've only hit my head once this year.
Oh, good for you.
I don't have that luxury of not making that. Ben Sirs, everybody, that was amazing. That was awesome.
It was really nice.
Is it Sirs or Shurs?
Suris.
See, perfect.
Like Suris, Manitoba.
I have one of those last names too that people mispronounce all the time. So
How do you say your name?
Pape.
Pape.
Like paper without the R.
How do they say it?
I've had everything.
Like
Poppy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've had Shurs, Sirs, Sures, Cerise, Sewers.
So new album,
Yep, brand new.
brand new. That was just dropped, what, last week?
Yep, January 21st.
So in a week, you managed to make it to #1 in CKUA. I'll tell you, I think you need to get a hold of a copy of one of those.
The albums are available on my website,
Okay?
and they come with a T-shirt. And I just found, like CDs, they weren't selling as well, and I just felt like if I made more CDs, it was going to be landfill.
Yeah.
You know, so I made these 9x9 album covers. So it's something you can still hold and look at and
Yep.
enjoy. And they have a download. There's a bunch of options. There's a booklet and different sound files. And then, and instead of a CD, you get a T-shirt.
Cool. How have you found adapting to releasing a new album in 2022?
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't really anticipate everything that was going to happen in the last 2 years. But the nice thing is, this is the first time I've ever really been able to really focus in a different way, like playing and getting ready and then recording, and then, you know, you just have I just had a bit more focused time to like think about the song order and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, we've definitely heard people mentioning how they've had that opportunity to woodshed and kind of dig into their own creativity instead of having the constant, you know, hustle and bustle of touring like you did
Yeah.
before. And then also the other side of that where, you know, people have come to play this week and have found that they haven't been playing as often. So,
Yeah.
you know, I've only played 6 times in the last 2
yeah.
years kind of thing.
Yeah. And in fact, because you do have a few people here because you have a crew and stuff, even though it's only about 6 or 7 people, it's still like the biggest audience in 2 years.
Right? I can remember the first time we did a live stream and I went to MC and, you know, you stand up and you see the 2 lights and the camera and there's nobody there. It's a pitch black room. It's definitely a different adjustment.
Yeah.
You know.
We're used to the feedback,
Yeah.
the interplay. And I do a lot of small show. I do house concerts and yard concerts. And I mean, I play folk clubs and festivals and stuff too, but I'm really used to that, you know, feeding off the audience and kind of a back and forth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's definitely a big part of, you know, what you guys do. Anything else
the
new?
band was really glad they had a 2-year break from the jokes I've been telling before each song for a long time. So.
We had the Mabels here last night, and they were pretty witty with their jokes as well.
Well, some of them are just fresh because they haven't been used in a couple of years. So
Right.
they're getting some life back in them.
Even though they're 2-year-old jokes, but they're fresh now, right?
Yeah, yeah. They had a west. You know, the jokes went to go on vacation, and yeah,
The first 2 years of a lockdown are the toughest.
yeah.
So what's on the horizon for Ben Sirs then this year?
Well, there's still going to be an album release in March
Okay.
at the Arden in St. Albert, near Edmonton, where I live, and I am going to be touring in April out to the West Coast and back, and I'm probably heading to Ontario in May. And other than that, I'll just be getting ready and continuing to work on stuff, and because the other thing is, if you go out after having not been out for a few years and nothing's changed, then you've been wasting your time. So I've got to make sure that there are some new jokes and some new licks, and yeah.
So for those of you at home, if anybody's running a festival or booking shows or looking for a house concert, I mean, they can definitely reach out to Ben. And,
and my album's available from my website.
Everything, bensurs.com,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think we flashed that across the screen a few times. I can't say enough great things about having you here tonight. It's been an honor to have you down. You played the festival many years ago,
I've
right?
never played the festival.
Okay.
I played Ye Old Jar Bar
That's what it was.
in Vinerville.
Yep, Pete and Ina,
Yeah.
dear friends. They've been watching
Yeah.
tonight. Ina's been commenting away. Hi, Ina. Hi, Pete.
Love you guys.
We,
Miss breakfasts at your place.
we can't say enough great things about
I
Pete
did a
and Ina.
painting of them, and it's of them. So if you're ever at their house, you can see Pete and Ina with the painting of Pete and Ina.
I think I might have seen that. It's neat to see the amount of time that they've spent, with artists and in the industry kind of thing, and the gifting that goes on back and forth as we all become friends and help each other out. And it's neat watching some of that grow and continue on.
And people like them, there are anchors along the road. There are family along the road. And I think you would find hundreds of Canadian musicians that consider them family. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Pete and Ina are known around the world for what they do and just the amazing individuals they are. They've always been a big help to us here at the Medicine Hat Folk Music Club and support us in any way they can. Any final words you'd like to say to the audience at
just
home?
Happy to be here and happy to play music in whatever way we can, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And thanks, Rob.
I appreciate it. I thank you. Thank you all for tuning in. We've got some more great show in store for you. Phyllis Sinclair's up next with her phenomenal album released from last year, Ghost Bones. Let's take it to Phyllis in the Kiln.
Hello, good to be back in Medicine Hat. It's been a long, long time. And as I drove around town today, you have to be away from Medicine Hat for a while to really appreciate the beauty that's here. And so it's really wonderful to be here. In my Cree language, we have two ways of talking about the Northern Lights. One is when the Northern Lights are flowing and they're smooth and they're just kind of lazy in the sky. We call that wawate. But then there's the other times when the Northern Lights are fast and they're furious and they're brilliant and they're moving here and they're moving there and they break off into pieces and they're just all over the sky. Well, we call that chipeak. Chipeak in Cree means ghost spirits, and we believe that when the Northern Lights are in Chipeak, that is our ancestors come down to visit us in dance. So this song goes, Wawate, Inime Hituchik, the Northern Lights are dancing. Chipeak, Inime Hituchik, Ispimik, overhead. Shimmering lights sweeping down. Lift my eyes to watch the milky heavens dance around. Across a freckled canvas where stars and green-eyed moon try as they might, can't hold a lamp to you. Try as they might, tonight can't hold a lamp to you. Your veil of cafe curtains like the snow. Your neon hem becomes four rivers winding as they go. Green as a mountain meadow, white watch you dance over the sky, heading back to where you came. Wawate ni meheto jek, chipeaki ni meheto jek, wawate ni meheto jek. The northern lights are dancing overhead. Thank you. You know, I've been kicking around folk music for the last 20 years, and I have never given up. Thank you so much. Hey, it's Teresa. Hi, Teresa. You know, and I have never given up my position from the reason that I got started writing way back then. And it's never been a popular kind of place to come from. But you know what? I didn't care, and I still don't care, because I think I have important things to say. And I think that the whole finding, I shouldn't say finding, the recovery of the 215 children at the residential school in Kamloops, kind of, it was a wake-up call for everybody. And I think what it did is it kind of was like proof in the pudding, you know? You know, because we've been saying for years that this was going on and nobody paid attention. And so finally, you know, we find these children, and everybody's saying, oh yeah, I guess it did happen. But even though it's not a great thing, I think that it has really opened the door. It's opened Pandora's box. It's opened people, given everybody the opportunity to talk now and say things about, ask questions and those types of things. So I'm really hoping that the next 500 years in Canada are different from the last 500 years, and that's why I wrote Go Spoon. So thank you very much for supporting it. It's been fun, it's been hard, it's been grueling, but certainly worthwhile. Waiting for night to find my way out of the dark. just to let you know where that song came from, over the last few years there's been a real revival in wanting to know about our stories, where we came from. And for the longest time, they were sort of not hidden, but I guess maybe they were based on, what happened years ago. And recently there's been a real resurgence and interest in Indigenousness, and especially from us, because I know for myself, I can't speak for anybody else, but this last summer really kind of tore open the lid on me, because for so many years I felt like I couldn't really talk about issues because nobody really wanted to hear about it. And all of a sudden people did want to hear, and it was like I felt like I had been ungagged, that I'd been gagged for so many years. And I'm just so happy that we've got this resurgence now, specifically in Indigenous mythology and Indigenous astronomy. I tell you, we've learned a lot about the stars from the Greeks and the Romans, but there are some tremendous stories that come from all the Indigenous tribes across Turtle Island, For example, we call Ursa Major, which is the Big Dipper, we call that the dog stars, Atima Ochagosak. And there's stories to go with that. And we call the Little Dipper Ochagosak, the Fisher stars. And every constellation that we know, that we learn about in school, there are stories across Turtle Island about this. And I'm so encouraged, because I think this is what our children need. Our children need to know these stories so they can take pride once again in who we were, because for so long we couldn't. So a few years back, I was with my friend Germaine, her name is, and we were sitting there talking, and she said to me, she said, "Did you hear the verdict in the Colton Boushie case?" And I said, "No, I hadn't." She said, "Well, there's been an acquittal." And a lot of people were shocked at that in Indigenous country, for sure. Couldn't quite understand it and wrap our heads around it, but that's what the verdict was. And it wasn't only maybe 2 or 3 days later that the verdict came down in the Tina Fontaine case in Winnipeg, a young girl, barely a woman, who was thrown off, I believe it was the Red River Bridge, in a blanket and weighed down in stones, and the perpetrator was also acquitted on those charges. So, I don't know the details, I don't know, but I always think there's something wrong when so many times the things that, it's easy to carry on in ways that we have before. There's a lot of misinformation, and there's a lot of information that needs to go out in all the systems, the educational system, the medical system, the political systems, everything, to understand Indigenous ways so that we can get a better shake at things, because that really does need to happen. So this is where this song comes from. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another one gone, another walks free. One mother cries, how can this be? No recompense for a star blanket sun. Taken out by hand river runs deep. One turns to go, leaving one there sinking below. High cheekbone smile, but out in the night, no one has pain. Can this be right? Bang, bang, blankets and stones. No redemption when a blindfold has holes. Cover up the stains and gavels and ropes. Forgive the doubt in your soul. Weigh it down in blankets and stones. Weigh it down in your soul. Weigh it down in your soul. Your child and mine, ours to defend. Children of life, of innocence. Bang, bang, blankets and stones. No redemption when a blindfold has holes. Cover up the stains and gavels and ropes. Forgive the doubt in your soul. Weigh it down in blankets and stones. In blankets and stones. In blankets and stones. In blankets and stones. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I've been seeing some other comments coming up there, but they disappeared. So anyway, if you said hi, good to see you. I love your stories and your beautiful music. Well, thank you so much, Louise. I appreciate that so much. So I was walking by my television that was on during the news. And I kept going about doing what I was doing. The story that was on the news at that particular point was another story about the missing and murdered Indigenous women. I thought I had to stop myself because I thought, Phyllis, why are you not stopping and paying attention to this story? This is something really important. And as I analyzed that for just a second, I thought, yes, I know I didn't stop because we've had so many stories about the missing and murdered Indigenous women and the marches and the sit-ins and whatever else is going on to get more closure to some of these missing people and murdered people. And I didn't hear anything that was new. I didn't hear that there was a finding, a new investigation, that something was turned up. I didn't hear any of that. So I know that's why I kind of tuned out, because I wanted to hear something new. And as I thought about that, I thought, Phyllis, there are so many people in Canada, and I'm sure, across the world, that are sitting at home with no closure. They have no idea where their loved one is. There's mothers, there's fathers, there's children, there's aunts, there's uncles, there's grandparents, thousands of people out there who are mourning because they don't know where their family members are. And this is why I wrote Unforgotten Lullaby. It comes from the place of grief, a place where a parent may be sitting and thinking these thoughts. things have really changed here in Medicine Hat since I was here last. In terms of much of the town looks the same. There's been a little bit more development, but you know, in terms of music, it looks like it's really taking off and taking on a whole new life of its own, and that's awesome. It's good to see transitions and movement, and you know, things aren't staying static. You know, you don't want that to happen. You want there to be life, right? So that's good to see. So I got this phone call. It was actually a text message through Messenger, which is based on Facebook, as you know, and it was a man who said to me, he said, I have this story. He said, I want to share with you, and I think you should write a song about it. So I listened to the story, and I was compelled. I was very compelled by it. But I really felt inadequate to do anything with this story, because to me it was like something really magical or wonderful happened here. And I said, no, thank you. I don't think I can do it. I said, why don't you write it? Because I think you can tell the story far better than I can. And he graciously said, sure, yeah, that's fine, you know. So anyway, time went on, and I thought about this gentleman from time to time. And, oh yeah, Greg and Mary Lou, hi there, yes. Yeah, I thought about him from time to time, and I thought about his story, and I never really did sit down and start, okay, I'm going to work on this song. It's just that one day I was in my kitchen, and as I was noodling, which often happens to me, is this song came, or line, or whatever came to me, and I looked over at my husband, Richard, and I said, you know what, I think that's Run, Brother, Run. The story of two Anishinaabe young boys who ended up in foster care in southern Manitoba on a farm. And they were there for 4 years, and they were not treated very well. And so they decided to hatch an escape plan. And that's what they did. On the given night, they decided that it was time to make their move and to leave the conditions that they found themselves in. Hurry, brother, don't look back. Run like a deer for the woods. Hurry, brother, don't look back. Run like a deer for the woods. About this time, they'll know that we're gone. They're gonna do what is for our own good. I'm tired of working The hounds are barking at our heels. They need someone to till the fields, bale the hay, call the corn, work the moon and early morn. Run, brother, run, we'll make it home. Run, brother, run, we're almost home. Thank you. So how much time do we have left? Does anybody know? 4 hours. Oh, far too much to fill. 20 minutes, really? Yeah? Oh, okay, well, okay. So this next song comes from really thinking about aging when it I guess maybe from an Indigenous perspective, because in our community, like, we try to keep our elders and our grandmothers and grandfathers as part of our family as we possibly can. I remember when I was about, I was a teenager, I know I was in grade 10, and we were living up in Thompson, Manitoba, and there was a knock come at the door, and believe it or not, there was a woman come to our door. She knew that my grandmother lived with us, and she was trying to peddle the old folks home for my grandma. Well, that was not going to happen. My mom certainly didn't let that happen, and my grandmother lived with us till the day she died. And if any of you have ever been to any of my former shows, you know how much I talk about my grandmother and how much of an influence she was on my life. And you know, I watch her, and to this day, I still kind of pattern what it is that I do after my grandmother. So that's where this comes from, that, you know, it doesn't matter what age you're at. When you get older, you know, you're always useful somewhere, and never let anybody talk you into thinking that all of a sudden you need to hang up your whatever it is and go tootle off to the old folks' home. You know, that just ain't gonna happen, not in my case anyway. So, you know, so aging is a wonderful thing, and I embrace it, and I love it. And really, when I think about it, it's wonderful to be my age and to still be doing stuff, right? To still be making music, and you're always useful. You just got to make sure that you see yourself as being that valuable person. So that's where this song comes from. 1, 2, 3. Weathered Wings? Oh, right? No, I think it's 3. B flat? Isn't it B flat? Weathered Wings? Oh no, we're doing Ghost Bones, right? Well, since I introduced Weathered Wings, let's just do that and then we'll go into Ghost Bones. How's that? Sure. Okay. So just switching up songs here. Since I gave that such a nice introduction, I would hate to just ditch it, right? So, okay, we ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. cold wind dried the windrows, brought hay, lifted them in, but he wouldn't trade one day out there in the Manitoba wind. He said, weathered wings still fly high, climb the wind, sail the skies. Weathered wings don't ask why. Weathered wings know they'll never learn if they never try. When storms of life start blowing, bring a chilling cold, rattles at my shallow breath and hope that holds my soul. I look out for a reason to catch the wind and fly. One day I'll look back on this time and understand the why. Weathered wings still fly high, climb the wind, sail the skies. Weathered wings don't ask why. Weathered wings know they'll never learn if they never try. Weathered wings still fly high, climb the wind, sail the skies. Weathered wings don't ask why. Weathered wings know they'll never learn if they never try. Weathered wings. Thank you. All right. It's actually it's actually nice to be in this environment. It's actually very relaxing, to just come in and chill, right? and yeah, it sort of feels like you're in a cocoon, which is nice. So one day when I was a little girl, probably about, I would have to say 6 to 7 years old. Hi, Lynn, thank you very much. Oh, good. She likes this song coming up, so that's great. Anyway, I was about 6 to 7 years old, and I was in my hometown of Churchill, Manitoba, right on the coast of the Hudson Bay. Beautiful, it's got the seagulls. It's like living on the ocean. And my grandmother comes in the house on this beautiful hot summer day in July, and she starts closing all the drapes. And I walked in the house and I saw her doing this, and I looked at her and I said, Kukum, why are you doing that? She said, one of our community members has passed away. And, we have to encourage them to go on to the new life that they are now going to live. And if we cry too much and we're grieving so hard and they see us, they'll feel sorry for us and they won't want to go on to their next life. So it's really important for two things: that we grieve because we need to, but we also need to let them go on to the next life so they can rest. You know, they don't need to be here worrying about us and feeling the pain that we feel and not moving on to where they're meant to be. So as I was thinking about the treaty signatories, I was thinking about the treaties when I wrote this song, and I thought about the different interpretations of the treaties that both sides had, you know, while we agreed to share the land, and there was some pressure to do so through different tactics. I believe in the words of my forefathers. I believe that when they said we're going to share the land, that they meant it, but they didn't mean it the same way that it turned out. That's the difference there. So I often wondered, you know, what do these treaty signatories think today of the deal that they signed, you know, and can they rest? And that's where this goes from here.
Parchment ghosts ride between sweet grass and stars, slipping forward on muddy roads and dusty cars. They shot for the moon, but their phantom autograph keeps their eyes looking back, keeps their eyes looking back. Hallowed halls below celebrate the lottery, hide the access, keep the dough under lock and key. But a $5 bill will never pay the price for a key to paradise, for a key to paradise. Give bones to our ghosts, don't tie them here below, let them travel home. Give bones to our ghosts, let them know you know. They paid with their souls, they paid with their souls. No sign they were here, no sign that they gave, no sign of the sacrifice they made. Words unrealized tie spirits to the earth, break the shackles, give credit to their worth. Hear their spirits moan for the people down below. Show spirit riders home, show spirit riders home. Give bones to our ghosts, don't tie them here below, let them travel home. Give bones to our ghosts, let them know you know. They paid with their souls, they paid with their souls, they paid with their souls, they paid with their souls.
Ghost bones, thank you. So as we come down to the end of the night here pretty soon, I was speaking with a friend of mine who is actually a head person with the Tsuut'ina people outside of Calgary there. And I said to him, do you think there will ever come a time in Canada's history when we can work together, you know, as a people, like we can actually consult and really create things so that there's more sort of inclusion. We need more inclusion. And he said, I believe that there is that possibility, he said, but we all have to have open minds. We have to be willing to step out of our comfort zones. We have to be willing to see things from a different perspective and think that maybe, this is worth giving a shot, right? And so I thought about this when I was writing this next song. I really feel, and I do feel, that people across Canada can work together to create a new Canada that's different from what we've been experiencing, because we still have things like bad water on reserves, We still have things like high incarceration rates. We have all kinds of, foster care and the whole thing. Something is not right, and it's got to change. And we collectively, as people, need to make that change. I'm going to just run a quick story here real quick. I contacted my city that I live in, Fort Saskatchewan. I'm so glad that they were so open. I said, listen, so many people in this town are grieving about the missing and murdered Indigenous children, because, the residential school children that were found. I had so many people coming to me and expressing their grief, and I didn't even know what to do with everything that they were telling me. It was hard. I said, give us an opportunity to express our grief, and they did. Together with the city of Fort Saskatchewan, the mayor and the council, we put together a vigil down by the big fish pond. We lit candles, floating candles, and put them in the water. We smudged, we prayed for these children. And I was so impressed with how the city stepped forward to make this happen. And that happened only because I, one day, was sitting at my computer, at my laptop, and I said, I'm going to write a note to the mayor and tell her we need to have some place to go to grieve. And she responded. And it's up to each one of us to do the same thing. Don't wait for your advocacy groups. Don't wait for people to go and do that for you. Have the courage to stand up. Go stand before your city councils. Go stand before your organizations and say, this needs to change. I don't see this happening. And I believe that we can do that, and that's where this comes from. Thank you so much, Teresa. So this is about working together. Let me think now. How's the sailboat? Yeah, I know. What's the first line? Oh yeah, they say that you and I just had a brain moment there. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. They say that you and I don't work together well. It looks like you and I, we have some rumors to dispel. Different styles and different tastes doesn't mean we can't relate. We can make this better if we try. They say this boat is sinking, it's just a matter
the water, you be the sail. Strippled boards to save our lives, work together to make it right. I will be the water, won't let this boat go under. No, no, I will be the water, you the sail. You the sail. You the sail. Great. Thank you, Lynn. Well, it's been a real pleasure being here. I'd like to thank you, Carol. I'd like to thank Robert for inviting me down to participate in the Tongue on the Post Festival. It's a real honor and a real privilege to be part of this. I'm happy to see how things are going and progressing, and to see your inclusion. You know, I see inclusion, and that's awesome, and I want to see more inclusion when I go to folk festivals. You know, not just for me. There's so many great Indigenous artists that I just never get a chance to see on the main stages, so it would be awesome. Yes, working together. Awesome. That's right, Heather. So thank you, Robert. I really thank you for that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart with all sincerity. And before we go here, I'd like to thank these wonderful people who have come to join me tonight and help me out. To my right, gentleman that I've come to know over the last, I don't know, let's just say almost 10 years. Let's put it that way, yeah, okay. So this is all the way from Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta, Dave Keenan on the bass guitar. Thank you so much, Dave. Really appreciate you being here. And behind me, and I'm sorry I had to have my back to you, Lindsay.
That's okay.
And another person that I've come to grow and love and work together with, also from Fort Saskatchewan, Lindsay Minchow. No, thank you so much. And the gentleman here to my left, I'm sure many of you people from the Tongue on the Post Festival and even in folk country recognize him. He's a singer-songwriter in his own right, and a great one at that. And it's been my privilege to have known Paul Bergman for over 15 years, or maybe even more than that, eh? It's been a long time. I hate to give our age away, but that's the way it is, right? So thank you, Paul. And Paul came all the way from Altona, Manitoba to join us, so really happy about that. So thank you, Betty. Betty says, thank you, Phyllis, for you and your band and making your way down to Medicine Hat. I wish I could have seen more people that I knew when I lived here, like Betty and Teresa and so many others that I never got a chance to see. So we lived on a farm. Thank you, Diane. We live on a farm. We did live on a farm. We still have the farm. We just don't live on it. And my husband's great-grandfather came over from Switzerland to homestead the land on the farm. And so when I went to the farm, I'm not a farm girl, as you know, and I went to the farm, and you know, you could tell that it's been there for many, many, many years. It needed some repair, getting kind of tired, you know, and I couldn't understand really the draw to this place because it was so old and tired. And I went to my husband one day. I said, "What do you see? What do you see here? Like, what? Help me to understand." And he said, "Well, when I look out," he said, "every fence post, every stone, every rock tells me a story about my great-grandfather." And I thought about that, and I thought about what the land means to me and to my Indigenous people. We don't believe that we own the land. We believe that we're caretakers and that we are part of it, you know. And when we look out at the land, we see the blood, sweat,
tears, ceremonies, weddings, funerals, burials, everything. We see the DNA of our ancestors on the land. So oftentimes we just go and stand in awe of the Creator and also of the land. And it means an awful lot to me, and that's what the song that we're going to leave you with tonight. It's come to mean a lot to me as well. So.
Ancestral place, motherland home, flesh of creation, skin of my bones, breath of my lungs, heartbeat of my chest, water and blood of those long at rest. In a rush of the four winds, I hear you come near. Without hesitation, you meet with me. Through back-parting grasses, you walk to my side. Open your arms, welcome your child. Get your wife some sakman too. Gana wena manan. Nina ask manan. Man too. Oh, land of my birth, life-giving land, life-giving world.
Thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure.
Phyllis Sinclair, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Phyllis. That was amazing.
You're welcome.
I can't say enough, and I've been hearing everybody else talking about how amazing. Kind of in your space, Paul. And I think, was it Lindsay?
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to do the interview too? Oh, no. Phyllis, it's been so amazing to have you back. I can think back to when I first started coming around the club as a volunteer, and I can remember you emceeing the events up at the college before we ever moved here.
Yeah.
Phyllis was instrumental in beginning the singer-songwriter night that the folk club carries on today. So, we thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to leave something behind here.
This album, the lyrics, the songs, they're so powerful, they're so meaningful, and I think that they've really found their path in this last year. What do you have to say behind that, and what came with that?
Everything was really unplanned. I had been working on this album for probably 3 years, and there always seemed to be something that got in the way of not being able to get it out. I can't remember some of the Stu Kirkwood, who produced the album, and I just love Stu, and I applaud him so much. But Stu wasn't available to work on the album when I first wanted to write it or to produce it. And so time went on, and I tried different avenues, and nothing ever quite worked out. And so then the time came again where I contacted Stu. It was probably about a year later, and I said, are you free now? And he said, yes, let's do it. So we started to work on Ghost Bones in December, and I think it was a month or so later that COVID broke out, something like that. And so we kept having these delays. I couldn't go into his home, because we could only have one visitor in our home at one time, and sometimes you couldn't have anybody. So on this went for a while. So this album, really, I believe, I'm just one of those people who thinks like this. Its timing was right. I had no idea that history would take the turn that it did to make these songs even more meaningful to people. And I'm just really happy to be an instrument, for whoever, whatever, to make life better for all of us together as people of Canada, So Ghost Bones really comes from a very deep place. I'm not getting any younger. I wanted to write an album that would finally say what I felt inside about issues, and I think I found a way to do it that people embrace and want to come along, with us on this journey. So I really feel that Ghost Bones has a life of its own. I don't even know if it needs me anymore.
Oh, I think it absolutely does, and I think it speaks to the strength of that album and the lyrics. I've had individuals throughout this week coming up and commenting about how they've been excited for you to come, and they've been listening, and the strength that's given them. And I mean, even for myself, I've found that it's helped given me strength to. I'm not a person that has fear of much of anything, especially talking. And it wasn't until having you come around that it really helped empower me to overcome a fear of even something as simple as making a land acknowledgement. And so I'm thankful to
that's awesome.
To the strength that you continue to put out there.
Yes. And I think we're going to see more of that. And I thank
agree.
you. I heard your land acknowledgement, and I was really touched and moved by it because, like I said, earlier, for so long we didn't acknowledge us, and it was like we were never here. And now it's nice to have people acknowledging us in different public ceremonies across the country. So, thank you.
It's been meaningful. I was blessed and lucky enough. I grew up beside a reservation in southern Ontario, and they taught Mohawk in my high school, and I didn't necessarily grow up knowing some of the divides that were around, and then growing as an adult and getting to experience and see some of that, and now seeing how with the voice of people like yourself being able to overcome some of that and come back in full circle and trying to make this a better place.
Yes, I think that's really what it's all about, and I think that's what Ghost Bones is about. It's about making this place a better place for all of us, you know, and thinking about some of these things that maybe somebody didn't think about before.
Absolutely.
You know, and now you can think about it and, you know, how can we make things better? That's my goal.
Well, you're hitting home run with this. Well, I thank you very much for coming, all of you guys. Thanks for making the trip all the way from Manitoba. It's not an easy trip in the middle of the winter. Please follow Paul, follow Phyllis.
Thank you, Audrey.
We got more comments still coming in. By all means, keep them coming. They will be able to see them afterwards. We thank everybody for tuning in all week. It's been a phenomenal week. We appreciate having you here to be able to close out the show and close out the week of the festival, and we can't wait to have you guys all back.
We'd love to.
Well,
Just say the word.
It'll happen, and hopefully we get to have all of you back as well. We can't wait.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank the Medicine Hat Folk Music Club, Al's Audio, Plugged In Media, City of Medicine Hat, you know, and all the other granting agencies that keep all of us going, you know, the Alberta Foundation for the Arts, Canada Council, Canadian Heritage, Alberta Music, and probably a bunch of other ones that I forgot about. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll talk to you all real soon.
Thank you.